the preparation and hard work that goes into each week for each opponent, especially with Coach Stud, he wants nothing but the best from all of us. So, that's one of our goals. Why not? Like what? Because we go through these team meetings, and typically it's a skill guy, and he'll challenge us and say, "Why not you?" So, it wasn't just an award for me. I felt like it was kind of an award for the group as a whole, and it just added a little bit of extra juice to what we got going on now. So, no, it was a great feeling though.
Did you have a sense on Saturday that you were playing at that kind of level when you were out there?
No, I was just more so focused on just getting the victory and doing my part. But nah, that didn't really pop up in my mind.
Front row right, Bill from the Dispatch.
Wyatt, the weather forecast for Saturday looks like could be snow. If that's the case, probably be more of a running game. How much would that excite you? What's the challenge of facing their defensive line, their front seven?
It's definitely going to be exciting if that's the case, because we love running the ball and love getting after it. But going against team up north, their defensive line, and just their whole defense as a whole, it's going to be another great challenge for us. But this is something that we've been preparing for even before football season, during the off season. So it's just going to come down to all the hard work and preparation that we did even before the season started. It all comes down to this game now, and one of the few things we say in the O-line room is that it's going to count on us, because if we're not producing, then as an offense as a whole, it can't function, and then we're putting the defense in bad positions. So if that's the case, we're going to take the challenge and just put in the work on Saturday that we've been putting in this whole entire time preparing for this moment.
Third row left, Dan from 11 Warrior.
Wyatt, is there a moment or a memory since you've been here at Ohio State where you realized just how important this rivalry is to people?
Could you repeat that one more time?
Is there a moment since you've arrived here at Ohio State where you realize just how important this rivalry game is to people?
Yes, I'll probably say it was on my recruiting trip. Actually, this was even before I got here. I never understood the rivalry, but I was wearing like a blue tank top in the facility, and one of the hosts was telling me, "Hey, do you have a jacket or anything? You got to take that off, because you're not allowed to wear blue in here." And I remember I was just kind of sitting there like, well, it's like 100 degrees during the summer, and I got to put a jacket on. But no, I did. And then after, I guess word got to Coach Meyer, and I had the jacket on. He unzipped, and he was like, "Unzip that. Do you have that ugly color on?" And I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Don't ever do that again." So then I was like, "Oh, okay, well, yeah, I definitely won't do that again." But no, that made me realize that this is real, and this is it's very historic, and we take that very serious around here.
Did you know much about Ohio State-Michigan rivalry before you came here, or is that something you kind of learned once you arrived on campus?
I learned once I arrived on campus, because I growing up in California, especially when I was younger, I wasn't really, focused on it, but I always knew that it was a rivalry, but I just didn't know how big it was, obviously, until I got here. So.
I'm sorry, front row right, Joey from the Dispatch.
Why, just to follow up on about running the ball from earlier, in this game, the team that typically can run the ball better will win. I know this will be your first time starting against Michigan, but why do you think the team that runs the ball better has an edge in this particular game, or why is it important in this game?
Because if you're successful running the ball, you're basically controlling the game. Because running the ball, you're controlling the time, and especially if you have one of those drives like we did on this past Saturday coming out, where it was like a 13-play drive. I mean, that, especially with how we go up tempo and run the ball, it gets the D line, gets the whole defense kind of out of place, because these guys start getting tired, and so if you're able just to keep on doing that and have those long play drives, it puts a little pressure on the defense. So I would definitely agree with that. That if we come out and do what we're supposed to do and dominate the running game, we definitely have a greater chance of getting the end goal that we want.
Did you guys decide before that opening drive last weekend we're just going to run the ball like basically every play?
No, I mean, we kind of just test the waters and see what's kind of going on. I mean, we knew it was going to be a great challenge for us up front, because their D line, prior to going into that game, we were studying copious amounts of film on them, just because they were all very talented across the board. And past teams haven't really had too much success, besides maybe Minnesota, running the ball on them. So, we tested the water, and we came out, we ran the ball, and we just started kind of, we felt the momentum shifting. Some of their guys kind of early on were getting tired, so we just kept pounding and pounding, and it was working out for us, and it also kind of just sends a message to the defense, like, oh, okay, these guys are coming out ready to play. So I'd probably say that's why we did it.
Far left, Lori from 610 WTVN.
What have you seen from Justin since Saturday, and how good was it to see him perform in a physical game like he did, going into a game that you know is going to be equally, if not as more physical?
No, it was great to see. I mean, I've always said he's a great leader, and he definitely did take some shots this past game. That's stuff that we'll definitely clean up and fix. But the fact that he just was able to just bounce right back up and to keep on going, it says a lot about his toughness and his character. And like I said, I mean, he's just an incredible leader, and that's the type of effort that you want in your quarterback, especially when it gets in those tough physical games, not to shy away from getting hit. I mean, he'll sit there and he'll even take some shots and then complete a pass, which says a lot about him. So he's not afraid to take hits. And going against this last little stretch we got going on, we're gonna be playing more tough teams with tough defenses. So it's gonna even get more physical.
And how much blue clothing do you own now?
Oh, I burned it all.
Front row left, Bill, or second row left, Bill from Letterman, or from The Athletic.
Wyatt, I know last year against Michigan you had to go in at the end after Beach got hurt, but if I'm not mistaken, you also had to go in earlier. I think Beach might have lost his shoe at one point.
Yeah.
And you had to go into the game. But what was it like to get inserted into the Michigan game for the first time, sort of unexpectedly?
It was crazy, especially the first when he lost his shoe. I remember I was just kind of just sitting there like, wait, what's going on? And Coach O was like, hey, go in. We need you to go in. So, at first it was definitely a little nerve wracking, but I just after that first little mishap that happened when I had to go back in for the second time, it was fine. But just as far as the experience, I mean, it was like a little taste. So ever since that day, it just kind of made me more hungry to play in this game, just because it was almost like a teaser. So I'm just looking really forward to it, and even the short time I was out there, I could feel it. Like you could just feel the rivalry, and that's why I'm just looking forward to this game for so much.
And, I've asked a couple of your teammates in the offensive line about this. I'm just interested in your perspective. You guys have run quite a bit of outside zone runs this year. I think maybe more than we've seen from this team in the past. Just what is it about your group up front, or maybe even JK, that's a good play for you guys?
Well, up front, across the board, I feel like we're athletic across the board, which kind of just helps us get on those blocks and get up to the second level. But just having a back like JK, he makes it very easy, because the slightest crease that he sees, he'll just take it, and it could go for 90 yards and something ridiculous like that. But I know that play has just been successful for us because the preparation that we've put into that play. Done a lot of reps of outside zone, and just the technique that Coach teaches on that play is, I feel like, has a lot of success to why we're able to run it so much.
And right in front of us, Doug from Cleveland.com.
Wyatt, do they run any more stunts on the defensive line than other teams?
You're just talking about as far in general?
Yeah.
Or, I mean, they run a lot of stunts, but I mean, it's hard to say just because against, it seems like every team that we've played up to this point has done something different from what we've seen on film. So, but no, I mean, they definitely have their third down packages where they run stunts and twists and stuff like that. And, we just got to prepare, get ready for any possible look that we could see. So to answer your question, it's, I could say yes, but it's going to depend more on what we see on Saturday.
Just in general, how have you guys handled that when other teams have done that with you, making sure you guys are picking up everybody? And, what's the key for an offensive line, when they're trying to maybe get a free rusher off, something like that?
As far as picking it up?
Just making sure you guys pick it up, and how well do you think you've done it this year?
Well, it's just like mid-game adjustments. There's been multiple games this year where they may have came out and ran something that we haven't seen before, and it's just important for us to communicate that to the coaches once we get back off that drive, to explain what happened, what they were in, and what they did. And our coaches have done an excellent job of getting us out of those situations where we're not prepared. But there are times where it'll happen in the game just because they may not have shown it in previous games, and they could have been saving it for us. But it's just about a communication and getting it across to the coaches.
We've got time for just a couple more, because we got Chris Olave and want to be able to wrap up. Right next door to Nathan from Cleveland.com.
These games where it's going to be in the 30s, it's going to be snowy. I would think that to really excel in that, you'd almost have to welcome that. Have you gotten to that point yet, where a guy growing up not playing in conditions like that at all? Do you look forward to that yet?
I mean, it's definitely going to be a different challenge. So like you said, growing up not facing that type of weather, it was different when I first came out here. But I mean, yeah, you just kind of got to embrace it. I mean, it is what it is. It's gonna. I mean, we know it's gonna be cold. It's November, so I would just, I don't think it's gonna have too much effect. I mean, obviously it's gonna be a little chilly, but it's nothing that I'm really worried about.
Right. Coach Day has talked about in the past. You guys maybe you wear different shoes for the conditions. You practice sometimes preparing for it. But is the mental side of it as important, more important than anything you do physically on the day of the game?
Oh yeah, definitely. Mental preparation is key, especially going into big time games, and just it really just comes down to knowing your stuff, knowing your assignments, knowing what you're supposed to do. Because as long as you're confident in what you know, the playing stuff, it kind of just feels for itself. So mental preparation, in my opinion, is probably the biggest aspect of playing well and being successful.
Wyatt, schematically speaking, how much different does this Michigan defense maybe look to you compared to last year?
I mean, they run some different stuff and some similar stuff from last year, but last year they had a really good front last year, so they were able to run a lot of different stuff. I'm not saying they don't have a great front this year, they do, but I wouldn't say it's too much, but I know that they're probably going to bring some stuff that we haven't seen before come game day on Saturday.
Why do you as a player and then you guys as a group, offensive line, do y'all prefer to go against what they call like opponents? Meaning, talent level wise. Do you look more forward to those kind of games to prove yourself? I guess, for want of another term.
Yes, we love those. That's why we went to Ohio State, is because you want to play against the best. So in games like that where it comes down to just those one-on-one blocks, basically either you or him, it's very fun. And there's going to be a lot of games, especially now, where talent equates up front, especially because, we're going to be facing more teams with really good defenses and defensive lines especially. So, we look very forward to the challenge.
Those teams tend to play you more straight up if you follow my drift.
Yeah, no, I know.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, everyone's got tricks, but yeah, sometimes, I mean, they'll come out sometimes in their base stuff and just kind of see how it feels that first series, and then from then on, they might come out in some different stuff if they're not able to hold up front.
Great. Wyatt, thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.